put you right here. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Another candid video for the internet. Just pregnant lady. So I wanted to come on here and talk to you about the cost, because there is a true cost of being lonely. And I want to let everyone know off the bat that being lonely is demonized, and it's seen in this light that causes people to feel bad about being single, or having no friends, or having a place to yourself, or like being an outcast. These things are regarded in a negative light, and the cost of being lonely is growth, expansion. It's being so in tune with yourself that when you go into other places, you're okay, because you already know who you are. If a person feels the need to be around everyone all the time, then there's this subconscious message being placed in them saying, I need to collect information because I need to figure out who I am. And that's actually not true. We're called to be by ourselves. We're called to be by ourselves. That's why we have brains that are separate from other people's brains. We're not actually like in this world where if I eat a cheeseburger, like everyone around me is eating a cheeseburger too. Like, I can eat a cheeseburger by myself, and I can experience the sensory information by myself, and I can process it the way I'd want. And this is the fundamental nature of what it means to be a human. Is we're in this flesh suit walking on planet Earth, and we're already predisposed to have boundaries. So these physical boundaries need to be met with a mentality and a psyche that matches it. All right? Well, every single day we encounter new information through our phones, and new information through our technology, through our work, through people, whatever. And at the end of the day, if you're not clearing that stuff mentally and psychologically, you're not respecting the boundaries of your person, your individual person. Okay? What it means to be a cleansed person is to be truly yourself. And a lot of the times, we find ourselves sacrificing for others because they can't do things themselves, or they weren't taught how to do things themselves, or they don't spend enough time alone to figure out how to do things themselves. And this is the cost of loneliness. It's being mature at a rate that does not match your circumstances. If you're alone all the time, you're going to get so crazy so quick that you need to combat that with something else. When we look at people I was gonna call them victims. I don't know. When we look at people who have gone into isolation, they're not like killing themselves. Like, they're gonna endure isolation. Why? Because we're meant, like, this is okay. It's okay to be isolated. And I'm just like, I personally am really tired of the stigma, the negativeness of being alone. I'm tired of these projected thoughts onto my life that are like, oh, I need friends. Oh, she's so alone, or whatever. Like, these things don't come from me, because at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. And so if you're continuing to do something, then you need to figure out why you're doing it. If you know why you're doing it, there's probably a good reason for it, and for you to demonize the reason for it is exactly what the enemy wants. All right? At the end of the day, we're all flawed, fleshy creatures with souls that are spiritual, and we all submit to divine order because this is the world we live in. Jesus Christ is reigning over our lives at all times. And it's okay to be sad and alone. And it's not the end-all be-all. It's actually for our growth and for our salvation that we are to be sharpened by our loneliness and our sadness. Because this is Jesus walking in the wilderness. Okay? This is Jesus walking in the wilderness. It's you refining who you are. You know, I just went to breastfeeding class last night. And then, like, you know, it's pretty, like, it goes over everything, whatnot. But, you know, it's hospital funded. And so, thus, lots of medical information. These mosquitoes are, like, really getting to me right now. Get out of here! Anyways, this freaking breastfeeding class is like going over the symptoms of pregnancy, the symptoms of postpartum, and everyone's like always so like quick to like throw out this depression word. And like, for anyone who has had depression, who has depression, whatever, like the word alone can be really triggering. Really. Like, that's the honest truth about it. And like, it's okay to be alone. People who are struggling with depression, when they go around other people, it actually can like really make things worse. Why? Because we're not meant to be judged. And when a person is depressed, their most animal instinct is to isolate themselves. Why? Because they're not healthy mentally. Their boundaries are off. Their the psychologic mind is not operating logically. You separate yourself. You spend time with God in the wilderness. This is what you do as a human. It's nothing to be concerned about. This too shall pass. It's for the refining and the salvation of our souls that we are even privileged to be alone. There were times where you couldn't even bend your knees and pray in privacy. Everything spiritually had to take place in temples and in this culture that was like, well, let's cast stones at her. We don't live in that age anymore. We can literally move out of our parents' houses and get an apartment alone, and that's okay. Like, there's no right to, oh, you must stay with your parents until you are married. Like, this is not the world we live in, and being alone is actually okay. The problem is, it's so demonized, and it's so like megaphoned into our skulls that it's a bad thing, that like we're over here thinking it really is a bad thing when it's not. It's literally the ignition for creativity and for life to happen. When you're alone is when most growth happens. Most growth happens with God. When you're alone, it's when most growth happens with God. And our loneliness and our sadness is being taken away from us, and it's not being properly honored in a human fashion because of the technology. It's like, oh, I'm sad, let me go distract myself. It's easier now than ever to distract ourselves from the conditions our hearts are in. There is a reason that you're sad. You spent the whole day with your mom yesterday, of course, or there's a reason that you're sad. You spent the whole weekend with your best friend from high school, like, of course, like, these things cause feelings, and the feelings aren't inherently bad. It's only when the feeling is taking over your soul and you don't know how to combat it, that is when it's bad. And it's because we're not going to God, and we're not going to God and saying, hey, I'm sad right now, and this is why. We are not even in tune with why we're sad anymore. And so our instinct is just to distract ourselves, when really, like, actually the root of our sadness could be, oh, I want to spend time with this person, but this person has changed, or we both have changed, and I have not processed the time lapse. I haven't processed the years that we've missed each other, Like, there's this overall cultural numbing because of drugs, technology, alcohol. Like, it's just this disgusting culture we live in where, antisocialness is like Gen Z's like biggest coping mechanism, and we're actually not even realizing that this isn't even, like, firstly, it's normal, but it's not offered in a way that, it's not honored in a way that produces good fruits or soulfulness. It's really when it takes from your soul that it's negative. If it's one day of sadness, relax. Say, tomorrow will be a new day. Figure out what you need to do for tomorrow. If it's a week of sadness, that's when it gets like to be, this is kind of taking over my soul. We live in days as humans. We can only live in days. We can only live in moments in a day. That's how we live. We're linear creatures progressing through this linear timeline. We live through days. I'm talking about loneliness and sadness because this is literally like the biggest epidemic. And everyone's projecting and casting their loneliness and their sadness onto others all the time. And for me, as a pregnant woman, I'm feeling it, and I'm feeling it greatly. Thank you. How do I like it? How do I want to manage it? And, it's not to say that, like, I'm better than these people. No, it's just, I have a life growing in me. This life is going into this world, and I want this world to be, like, like, somewhat, like, freaking orderly, so this human doesn't, like, freaking feel like, why did I come into this world? What's the purpose, Like, there are a lot of these, like, quintessential, existential questions that a pregnant woman goes through, where like they're bringing life into this world. And people just make your aloneness, your like, it's like, oh, we're like made to be seen as like these difficult people, when really, I'm sorry, but I had the realization the other day that a pregnant woman, and not because I'm pregnant, these freaking mosquitoes, not because I'm pregnant, but because pregnancy in itself is life-bearing. We are literally the main characters. We are the main characters. Society is built for us. Society was built for us because all these little flavor palettes people have going on, that was created by a pregnant woman. Oh, how did you come up with Pilk? How did you come up with Pepsi and milk? That was some pregnancy creation. When a womb is filled and growing, and that life force is so strong that the human that is holding that womb, and that human is taken, like, is overcome by themselves and mixes Pepsi and milk. Yeah, that's pretty transformative. And no straight freaking man with testes is gonna freaking come up with Pilk. That's a pregnant woman's freaking creation right there. And then this is kind of off topic, but I was watching this cooking show. It was called America's Culinary Cup. And the woman who was the most calm, the most amazing flavor palette, most consistent, most like, they called her the silent assassin. And like, she was literally like a beast up there. She won the $1 million and she was pregnant. And I was like, go off, queen. This is amazing. When you like, it's a world that is isolating because it's so incredibly unique and close to God that you have no option but to feel alone in your growth. You have no option but to feel alone in your growth. Your friends that haven't had children yet are not going to get it. Your husband who is not carrying your child is not going to get it. Your own mother, God bless her soul, she's not going to get it because you're carrying the next generation. It's not like when she was pregnant. It's not like when her sisters were pregnant. It's not. This is a different time fundamentally, and your growth and is so strong. It's pushing you to be isolated with God. Walk in the wilderness with him. Take his hand, walk in the wilderness with him. Don't worry about anything. If you seem like you're crazy to others, that is a good sign. You want people to call you crazy because guess what? When they're doing things and their consciousness is bought by their company, and all of their attention and their mental power is going to their 9 through 5 every day, you kind of want to bring them back to life. So don't feel like you're this person who needs clinical help because you're raising a human being. Don't feel like you're this like person that's breaking the law. Feel holy in your pregnancy and in your nature, reframe loneliness as creative opportunity. Reframe sadness as unique growth and expression. that you can really harness and actually do things with that are not within the frame or the box that we've been put in. And you know, something I've been struggling with recently is thinking that my creative output should only be dedicated to consumerism, where I'm like, oh, well, you know, we all get this nesting feeling, and I should be buying new shoes with it. I should be buying like new cushions for the couch with it, because that's where my creative power lies, is the decision of purchasing something. Yeah, that's absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. You want to be grabbing artistic modalities. You want to be grabbing your old sewing machine. You want to be grabbing that old book and scrapbooking with it. Like, don't think that your creative power as a woman is limited to consumerism. This is what the powers at play want you to believe. They want you to believe that your worth is creatively is limited to a consumerist expression, that like if you haven't bought it, then oh, you know, this is a lie. This is a lie, and we're always being so consumed by all the lies that, you know, are thrown our way, but we don't have to accept shit. God forgive me for swearing. We don't have to accept any of it from this world. What we accept is from our God. We know who our God is. We know that He loves us. We know that He is divinely protecting us. And that He's our advocate. And He knows that we're sad because of this freaking world. Because He's sad too. And we're His children. And it makes complete sense. And like, to get your little freaking noggin out of this box that we live in, you know? So, yeah, I just want to say that I love you all. Thank you for coming to my channel. I'm just a pregnant woman in the world, and I just come on here to, you know, create. It helps me, and yeah, I'm just gonna be like more. If you subscribe to my channel, here's what's gonna happen. All right, I'm gonna pray for you. All right, you pray for me. We grow. We become more beautiful, more holy, more intelligent. We get more money. We get more friends. Everything prosperous is in our favor. Okay, so join the community, become a little woman, and we'll figure out womanhood together, you know? 25, who knows? Who knows what kind of woman you are? You could be a 15-year-old little woman. I mean, technically, you're still a girl. But if you feel that you are mature and that you should be walking around getting respect and whatnot, subscribe. I'll be your big sister. Forgive me if I say something crazy that you don't agree with. Take it up with the Lord. He knows you best. I don't. And yeah. Have a good day. Bye.